the other guy was like, what? Oh my God, that makes you gay or whatever. And it's just, amazing to me. But they were both really curious about it, but they, only one of them would admit that he was into it. And, not everybody is into it, but most people are, if they've tried it, and it's a pleasurable thing to happen. But I think that, that show that I had just reinforced the fact that straight guys enjoy anal sex just as much as gay guys do if they are open enough to it. And I know that some heterosexual women do too. And just to give you a little lesson, I'm sure you all know this though, because gay, men have a prostate, that stimulates the prostate, which is what makes it feel good when we come. So, or what's what makes us come essentially. And so because of that, being stimulated through anal sex is very pleasurable because it's direct stimulation. Essentially, girls, think about it as direct stimulation to your clitoris all the time. It's basically the same kind of idea. That's your G-spot, and our G-spot's our prostate. And so that's why it feels good to men. For women, I don't know. I'm not sure if it certainly doesn't feel the same for women because they don't have a prostate, but maybe it feels good. Maybe it stimulates them in a similar way, or maybe it stimulates their clitoris in some way. I don't know. You'd have to ask a woman who's had anal sex to answer that question. But whatever the case may be, people enjoy it. And so it's ridiculous that people still have such a fucking taboo about it. And that's just one other way that we as gay people have advanced society forward by being open about sexuality, not being ashamed of it, whatever it might be. Because we're bringing, just like we do it with everything, we're bringing heterosexual culture into the next century and dragging and kicking and screaming from, the Victorian ages or the puritanical ages of the 17th century and the 18th century. And so I think it's a great thing. And I think that's nothing surprising to me, but I think it's wonderful that it's happening because it means the more open heterosexual people are about themselves, the more open they'll be generally, not just about gay people, but about accepting people in general and not being so fucking judgmental about other people. I don't think it fucking matters what you like in bed, as long as whatever you do in bed is consensual, which means it has to be with an adult and it has to be with someone who agrees to do it and wants to do it with you. And it has to be with a human being. As long as it's consensual and it is pleasurable, then good, more power to you, more power to you. Now, what's good for the goose is not always good, for everybody else. Some people, it's because one person likes something doesn't mean others don't. I mean, I have no desire. I never have had a desire to be peed on or shit on or anything else of that nature. It's disgusting to me. It doesn't turn me on at all, but there are people that it does. And so I don't judge. If that's what you're into, good for you. Just don't come near me with all that stuff. It doesn't turn me on. Some people have foot fetishes. Some people have penis fetishes. Some people have breast fetishes. Some people have leg fetishes or ass fetishes. I mean, everybody has something that they're significantly turned on by more than the norm, whether you admit it or not. And so, if your kink is anal sex, or your kink is something that others may deem to be deviant or different or wrong or whatever, who the fuck cares? Say, it's none of your fucking business. Mind your own fucking business. Unless you're having sex with me, it doesn't fucking matter what you're into. I don't fucking care. So anyway, I'm going to take a break, come back, and we'll talk about what's going on in the gay news. Be right back.
Smile when I'm feeling down. You give me such a vibe. It's totally bona fide. The way you walk and the way you talk. It ain't the job you got that keeps me satisfied. Your love feels so good. should let you know that your touching means so much. When I'm alone at night, and you're so always thinking of your love, it feels so good. And that's what takes me high. Your love, it keeps me high. Lord, I should let you know that your touching means so much. When I'm alone at night, and you're so always thinking of your love, it feels so good. And that's what takes me high. Your love, it keeps me high. Lord, I should let you know that your touching means so much. When I'm alone at night, and you're so always thinking
Okay, so we're back. So we were talking about butt play for heteros a minute ago. If you missed that, there's an article about Dolly Parton. By the way, she's talking about she's about to record a pro-gay dance anthem. She says, "quote At some point, I would like to do a dance record, and I have several songs that are very positive toward the gay community. I have a song called Just a Wee Bit Gay. It's a great little dance tune. It's funny, and it's got a lot of comic in it. I do write a lot of songs along those lines with people that are different and are just themselves." I love her. She's always been a supporter of the gay community. She's always been very just love everybody, whatever. And she's very down to earth, very much like, you know, people I grew up with, Southern women that I grew up with and around. Very just who she is, no pretense, and just down to earth and lovely person and personality. So that would be great. I definitely would buy that. I love her. I think she's awesome. Gay marriage, on the gay marriage beat. Texas by Wednesday, where I live, will, well, there's been actually several things. There have been two huge rulings in Colorado this week. The first is a state court ruling that Colorado's marriage ban violates the U.S. Constitution. The second is a ruling that Boulder County Clerk Hillary Hall can continue to issue marriage licenses even though the ban hasn't yet been overturned. And Boulder's been issuing licenses for about a week, and following the ruling, they can continue. They've just been joined by Denver and Pueblo County. Hundreds of couples have so far been married in Colorado. Attorney General John Suthers has promised to appeal the ruling to try to stop the marriages, but Governor John Hickenlooper, with a name, has asked him not to, saying that the licenses put Colorado on the right side of history. Marriage equality won another victory in Pennsylvania last week, this time for the U.S. Supreme Court. Justice Samuel Alito rejected an attempt by a local clerk to stop the marriages. Wisconsin and Indiana are both on the fast track to a marriage decision. Last week, the Seventh Circuit Court set an expedited schedule that should have both states fully briefed by mid-August, and the opening brief in Indiana is due on Tuesday this week, and a brief in Texas, where I live, Texas case is due on Wednesday, and we're expecting a ruling any day now in the case from Key West, Florida. At a hearing last week, anti-gay lawyers claimed that marriage equality has negative consequences, but couldn't actually name any. Typical. There's a new lawsuit in Idaho. A lesbian veteran has sued the state for the right to be buried next to her spouse. And a new survey in Louisiana shows support for marriage equality is still low at 32%, but steadily climbing year after year. Isn't that ridiculous, though? I mean, that a lesbian veteran, someone who served her country, and was married to her spouse, who died, simply wants the right to be buried next to her. Isn't that the most ridiculous thing? How heartless can you be? People are so fucking mean, and just heartless is the only word or expression I can think of to use for something like that. Who the fuck cares if you're buried next to someone that you loved and you were I mean, why does it make a difference to them? Why the fuck do they care? Because they were lesbians. I mean, the level of hatred and, inequality that we as gays experience is just staggering. And a lot of it doesn't make the news. A lot of it is just, stuff that we contend with on a daily basis for being gay, for being who and what we are, that we cannot change. We shouldn't change. We are what we are. So it is ridiculous to me that people are, just dealing with these fucking issues. But fortunately in Texas soon, hopefully Wednesday, hopefully they will also rule that it will be overturned in Texas as well, our law. If it is, there'll be a stay put, blah, 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 before we can get married in Texas and so on and so forth. Fortunately, I'm already married to my husband, but, we married in Connecticut in 2009. But I think that if it does become legal in Texas, we'll get married here just because it's just legal. Because, our marriage would still be recognized in Texas anyway, but just because we want to get married here, just say, fuck you, we can do it anyway. Speaking of Texas, Obama was in Austin, this last week, actually. And he went to a really famous barbecue place, in Austin, called Franklin Barbecue. It's it's like, I don't know, world famous or whatever. Anyway, and he went there, and the guy who waited on him at the counter, his name was Daniel Rugg Webb. He's a 32-year-old musician and comedian who works as a cashier there. And what happened was he was serving him, and all of a sudden Daniel puts his fist on the counter. He's like, "Equal rights for gay people," like that, to Obama when he's right in front of him. And Obama said, "Are you gay?" And taken aback by the directness of the question, he said, "Only when I'm having sex." And the president laughed. And then realizing there was a group of children near them, he said, "Not in front of the kids." And they bumped fists, not booties, bumped fists, and that was that. But it's just really great that, it just shows a side of Obama that he's a down-to-earth guy, and he is an actual supporter of gay rights, especially since he's evolved and everything towards that. I think that's wonderful. And how many presidents would actually joke about